Oh, hello, everyone. We are live to the very first Leon LeGray podcast live episode. We are now in episode 156 of the Leon LeGray podcast. First time live in a very long time. And I hope everyone is doing a-okay. And this is my very first time, and thank you so much for coming in and joining and coming in and taking a look into the topic of Windows 10, or I should say 11, coming up, and giving you guys my thoughts on what we're going to be expecting about Windows 11. Though I'm not too certain how soon Windows 11 is going to be out to launch, because right now Microsoft hasn't announced it yet. And this is the topic of today that I'm going to be talking about, which is going to be, for one, Windows pretty much Windows 11, what we're expect to see on all that, and what my opinion on Windows 11 pretty much is going to be, which that's something I love to see and find out what the conference is going to hold on there. And I will read up onto the article what I've been reading up on Digital Trends, The Verge, those two sources I've been talking about. And the reason I've came back into doing live podcasting, for one, someone suggested on doing a live podcast, and something I've thought about, and I decided just to brave this out and say I'm going to do it tonight. I figured, why not? What's holding me up right now too? And to me, I know I am going to be going out off a little bit on unscripted here, so if I am stumbling, please forgive me, because I know I'm not good with doing live shows, and which to me I'll get a little bit better right there too. And plus, this is a very much a solo show, as you can see, which to me, I don't have a co-host to talk about this, so it's just only me talking about it, just me, Leon LeGray. But however, if you guys are interested in just seeing this show, probably like an aftermath, probably with some of the edits I'll be doing after the show, which to me, I mostly work on my post-production around Thursday, and have my recorded podcast released up on Friday. You guys, if you're interested in listening to me on a recorded session with bits and snippets of my audio, please be sure to follow up my podcast on Apple, Stitcher, iTunes, wherever you are listening to me on too. And besides, I think if you guys are just mostly audio listeners and don't want to watch me live, perfectly understand right there too, if you don't want to listen to me. So, and that's okay too. But anyways, this is your host, as always, Leon LeGray. So before we get into tonight's topic, I always wanted to go out and talk about crypto and what's been happening over the weeks. And since I know I haven't been posting a podcast in the regular like I used to, in which to me the whole Instacart delivery service has been keeping me busy, so that's what's been happening, and which I should do put myself out there more and more. But with the long streaming hours, that's been holding me up, and so that's why I haven't had the chance to put any other episodes recently. But however, I will say is that there will be more episodes coming up down the road, especially 160. It'll be another live episode as well, though this is going to be another experiment, and see where these live shows go. And plus, if this becomes pretty successful, I will continue doing live episodes up on Twitch on Wednesday evenings, and hopefully I'll do this much earlier than tonight. And so, however, I figured, let me just go ahead and get an episode out there, and not procrastinate or ponder about it too much, because otherwise nothing's going to get released. So yes, and so that's the reason I figured let me just get an episode out of the way and begin a brand new podcast. Which obviously, of course, I will release this podcast first up on YouTube, and then release this podcast on other MP3 audio streaming services of your choice. So, but yeah, so go ahead and subscribe to whatever you are subscribed to, and make sure to listen to me wherever you are. So tonight I want to go ahead and first talk about cryptocurrencies, which I love to talk about the markets. Where is cryptocurrency is going right now too. So before we get into Windows 11 topic, now cryptocurrencies right now, it is very much on a bearish move. It's been pretty much going sideways. So I know the other day, about a day or two ago, I know Bitcoin did jumped 40K for the first time in the past over the past 2 weeks. And so what had happened, of course, I know I can't really trust what's going on with Elon anymore. Gosh, I have to say though, I've been very, very disappointed with with Elon Musk. And to me, the whole thing, what he's doing on Twitter, is pretty much manipulation of cryptocurrencies, especially what he's trying to do. And he's not stupid. He really is not stupid. I think what he was doing was honestly a very big mistake, taking off Bitcoin out of their payment system over on Tesla, right? And now the thing about it is, like, I don't know exactly how many people used Bitcoin to pay for Teslas, so I don't know. And for me, I've talked about this in my last episode, was that I think the problem about this that he was doing was he was being pressured to do what he was supposed to do, right? And especially he got pressured by people within his company to take off Bitcoin, or who knows what have happened. But if he have not done it, it'll still be at as high as that right now too. So yeah, it would have been still high. And I honestly don't know what's going on, because for me, I obviously can see two things. He's just trying to talk Bitcoin down so the value of Bitcoin can go lower, or he's just being a massive troll. Either way, I have no idea where he wants to go through with putting Bitcoin, but I know that the favorability of Elon Musk is very, very low right now too. And I just can't. Here's the thing. It's like, for me, I kind of liked him for a while. It's like, oh, he's probably a savvy dude, and he wants to bring people that loves Bitcoin and he wants to accept Bitcoin so people can spend on the Tesla cars, which I thought, hey, probably it'll be a big seller for a Tesla, and more Teslas will be sold going through Bitcoin. But now where I see this right there is that I think he was just being pressured. I mean, by these people around him and taking Bitcoin off. I don't know. And that's just speculation. I can't say what would have had happened if Elon Musk would have kept Bitcoin. Now, however, getting back onto the topic, was there was an interview, I believe, by CNBC on the financial channel, that one of the hosts interviewed Paul Tudor Jones, a financial service. He probably works at the banking sector or the business. Paul Tudor Jones, which I don't know too much about Paul Tudor Jones, but there was an interview that CNBC originally, pretty much what I've understood, that they've interviewed him and they said, well, what did you think about Bitcoin? And to my surprise, he actually talked very, very favorably about Bitcoin. which I didn't expect that coming from a financial institution guy like Paul Tudor Jones. Still, I think it is pretty cool. Again, I don't even know that if he's gonna want to, um, if he's going, if he actually ever promoted Bitcoin, but that actually brought the price up, pretty high that day, and a little bit surprising enough that just because of the comments that he made brought Bitcoin up to Paul Tudor Jones, which I think it is absolutely cool to see that. But again, I don't know what Paul Tudor Jones's stance on Bitcoin, and does he own Bitcoin himself too. So that's one thing don't don't know too much about Paul Tudor Jones, which to me I should have done my research before going through and before going live right there too. Again, the only little thing I understand about him, he is a billionaire, billion air hedge fund manager and conservationist and philanthropist. So that's the only thing I know really this much about him too. Well, this much about him. Again, not too much to say about Paul Tudor Jones or to comment about him, but however, I think the crypto markets are still going to be very, very shaky, and it's not going to be a sign that it's Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are going to scale back higher into a bull run. I mean, right now we're now in bearish territory, and that's where we are at right now too. So again, I love to see Bitcoin uh, go a little bit higher. I know a lot of people are, and so am I. So hey, I want to see more of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies going higher instead of continue going sideways like it continued for the last 2 weeks. Again, are we going to see more cryptocurrencies going higher? Probably so, though. But Bitcoin is not the one that we're going to get to see. And I do think that there's going to be more potentials with other cryptocurrencies that has big pumps along the way. Again, I will say for anyone that is listening to me, please do not get your financial advice on me. I am not a 100% expert on Bitcoin. For the love of God, I'm just talking about Bitcoin just for speculation and opinions on it too. So please, whatever you do, do your research. Do your research on Bitcoin, and do not get this from me. I'm just saying right there. Trust me. So that's how far I'm going to go about that too. And as for me myself, I am pro Bitcoin. I would say I've been pro Bitcoin too, but I've been now jumping into more privacy coins as of lately. But I like to find out where the trends are going to be down the road, where things are going to go. but that further said too, I love to know what your guys' opinions about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies. Do you own some? And if so, love to hear what you guys have to say about cryptocurrencies. Do you think that we're going to see cryptocurrencies going up on a bull round down the next few weeks? If so, love to hear that. So anyways, I am going to go and put myself on a break real quick. Neil, go ahead and grab some water. So next up, we're going to be talking nothing about Windows 11, things I looked up, my research on Bitcoin. My research on Windows 11. Anyways, this has been a very hot day, so I can barely speak. Woo! So bear with me here. So also, I am a little nervous, so I cannot really talk well with a dry mouth, and plus this heat is not helping me at all. So anyways, let me go ahead and put myself into be right back mode. Let me go and find out too. That's be right back scene. There we go. So let's switch that off, and I'll be right back. Need to grab some water. I am just kind of slurring my words because I am very dehydrated. So that doesn't really help when you're trying to speak. But now I'm okay. I got some water with me, and I'm gonna get and resume on my opinion on Windows 11. And so, coming from a friend of mine that's was pretty much actually mentioned to me about Windows 11, and I didn't hear much or heard much about Windows 11 prior before this, and so I don't know too much about it except I've watched one video from Linus Tech Tips that he actually he said that he tested an ISO on Windows 11, and though the test was impressive, though I don't even know if this is like in the official, what do you call it, like the very official version of Windows 11, and I'm not sure myself because I've only watched it, and it came to me as well. It looks really nice. I like the demonstration of Windows 10, though I don't know how much it is. It's official, and it looked great. I was actually impressed with the demonstration. However, for me myself, I will not download the ISO because, for one, I know that Microsoft doesn't like the fact that they want to leak their products out beforehand, and they want to wait on what's to come. So for me, it's just best not to go for the unofficial version. And I'm sure that I can just go ahead and get it through other sources like a torrent or some other place. But my heart right now, for me, I'm just not going to go ahead and dive into getting a key out of nowhere. So to me, that's just something I'm just not interested in using Windows 11 for a certain amount of reasons. For one, I don't want to get a product that's not stable, and your best bet is to wait when things are fixed with updates and patches coming from the official Microsoft updates that comes rolling in through your machine. So that's, for me, I'm better off doing that as well. So, and that's why I figured let me just go ahead and wait things out too. So in fact, I will even show you a demonstration of the Linus Tech Tips. In fact, I will just go ahead and bring it up so you guys can watch the whole demonstration. Let me just find the YouTube video. Okay, and we can just watch it together. Let's take a look over here. History. Okay, let's do this too. In fact, this is the official.
Microsoft hasn't even.
This is the official video of Windows 11 that Linus Tech Tips have showed up right there too. So though I thought it was very impressive, so let me show you a few things before I continue my commentary on this too. So I will be pausing back and forth on it, so forgive me on that, and I'll give you a few things what I have to say about his latest video on it too.
Announced Windows 11, but there's 3 things that tell me it's probably coming soon. Number 1, they've got an event announced for June the 24th where we're going to see what's next for Windows. Number 2, they've actually posted a retirement date for Windows 10 on their official website.
And yes, so that is very true too. So looks like Microsoft have updated their end of life page for Windows 10. Now, however, I am still going to keep Windows 10 till it no longer works, because for me, my best bet on anything else is to wait until things become stable with each operating system and not jump into the latest and greatest. And this is one thing I find hilarious with a lot of people. If I got this product for free, let's just say I've got this product for free and that was given to me, will I use it? The answer will be held to the no, I won't. Nothing is for free. And this is the problem with free products, is that by the time you got this product for free, you are being used as the product. Nothing is really available to anyone for free. If you want the stable version, you have to pay up. you have to. And that's just the lesson a lot of people did not learn with Windows 10 when they first got it for free for 1 year, when it was released around 2015, when it was released for everybody for free. But I did not even buy it at first because I stuck with Windows with Windows 7 till its end of life day. And so I said, you know what? Nah, I'm going to stick around till end of life. So that's what I'm just going to do with Windows 10. Because and say, you know what? Not even worth going through going through a product and not have it stable for since day one. Because like, no, that's not something I'm going to do right off the spot. So anyways, let's continue on to the video.
Site. And number 3, I'm holding it. We're going to install Windows 11 right now. So excited. Before we begin,
actually,
I gotta admit this label was a lie. And the first thing we need to do is get the Windows 11 installer actually onto our USB drive. Now, normally you would just go on the Microsoft website and use the Windows Media Creation tool, but because Microsoft is not obviously intentionally distributing copies of Windows 11, we are going to have to use a different tool called Rufus. So let's fire up good old Rufus here. And look at that. It automatically picked up our USB drive. And now, look, I'm not going to aid and abet software piracy or whatever else, so I'm not going to tell you guys where to get an ISO, but we got an ISO. There it is.
Okay. And good thing he did get a warning. For me, that's something I am not going to be interested in going through is grabbing an ISO out on the internet. So that's actually good on them. And by the way, if you get anything off the internet and that's not an official release date, I wouldn't really get it. So that's why I'll just wait until we hear more things out from Microsoft coming up. So let's continue on from there.
Let's create a bootable Windows installer. I'm actually so excited right now. I haven't looked at any of the leaked screenshots or any of the rumors, so I just get to go into it totally fresh. Now, one of the big controversies around Windows 11 is that there isn't supposed to be a Windows 11. Microsoft said outright when they launched Windows 10 that it was going to be the last Windows you would ever need, which people interpreted to mean that they would never need to pay for another Windows license and that they would just get free upgrades forever. Kind of like, well, nothing. Nothing works like that. It was going to be Windows as a service, though. Well, looks like that's all getting kicked in the head. I wish I could find the power button for this test bench.
That's let me just put it as this warning. That's the one thing I will never buy is a free product. There's always a price for anything right there too. It wouldn't matter what Microsoft says at this point. They're gonna want your money. That's the truth. They are really, really greedy behind this too. That right there, I don't believe many of Microsoft official statement right there too. Because if you want the OS, you have to purchase the OS. That's the whole ordeal too. I mean, I will say it once, I'll say it again. Nothing is for free. No product is for free too. Especially your games. Games have to be paid. So there's a part I'll just go comment right there. So anyways, we're getting right into the part that he's going to test out the Windows 11 for the first time. But actually, he is actually testing this out on a virtual machine, not the raw part that he but he will explain that in this episode too. So in this episode of Linus Tech Tips right here. So but let's continue on and let's check out his spiel right there. So he'll explain everything.
Just want to install it. I don't have a product key. Obviously. Okay, well, we're going pro, boys. Oh, no, we're going pro for workstations. No, it wasn't that easy. We've now tried this on 3 separate machines running Ryzen 3000, Intel 7000 series, and now Intel 10 series.
Intel 10.
And we can't find a single one that meets the minimum system requirements to install this version of Windows. If you were looking closely, you might have noticed that many of the leaked screenshots of Windows 11 were at oddball resolutions like 1600 by 1200. And that's no coincidence. While that would be an extremely uncommon resolution for a desktop or laptop monitor, it's really common in virtual machines. So that's when you have one operating system running inside another host operating system. There are a ton of reasons to test new software by installing it on a virtual machine rather than on your bare metal hardware. It can be better for security, especially if you don't trust the source of the software. It can be quicker to wipe and start over. And in the case of Windows 11, it may just flat out be the only way to do it.
And which he's right too. In fact, I never gone in and installed operating system on through a virtual machine. I've seen the process firsthand. Now the virtual machines are big in package, so it's like a 1 gig of space, or so yeah, it is pretty big too. Now I will plan on using a virtual machine at some point down the road when I can put a little bit of time and effort to create my own VMware. But that's one thing he is right too, because if you don't trust the source of the software, then you don't want to install it raw right from the bat too. So there are benefits why many do this for a reason. So anyways, let's continue on to as well. But so by footnote, a warning right there too. If you plan on doing the ISO on Windows, on the Windows 11 copy, then hey, good on you too. So do this on your own risk as well.
Because it appears, though we can't find any confirmation of this online, that Microsoft has found a way to lock down the installer so that it just won't install on bare hardware. Of course, that's not going to prevent us from just doing it this way then. I'm creating a 500 gigabyte boot drive, and I'm just chucking it in my VirtualBox VMs, Windows 11.virtualdisk, blah, blah, blah thing. And then all I've got to do is change my settings so that my storage, here we go, has... There it is. Windows 11 mounted to it. Let's go ahead and fire this thing up. Start. It really is that fast, ladies and gentlemen. Right out of the gate, there's a lot of things I'm expecting to be different. There's supposed to be a whole new visual design, and if the last Windows 10 update is anything to go by, there's probably going to be a lot more shoving content and ads down my throat. See this thing they added to my taskbar? Anyway, the point is, it's ready. Wow. That is different. Well, you might as well know where the filthy pirate is from. Canada. Is this the right keyboard? Yeah. Secondary keyboard? No. Okay, this is basically the same thing, but with a facelift so far. Apparently the on-screen keyboard allows you to, like, customize it and stuff now, which is less relevant for a desktop user, but more relevant for a device like this one, you know. Are they going to make me log into a Microsoft account? Sign in with a security key. Sign in options. Can I just have a local account? Offline account?
Which, by the way, it's if you're going to do anything like this, in fact, the installation for any machine, I would, with all Windows products, or actually Windows OSs, it's best to go through offline installations and not go through a Hotmail or MSN account, just because it's quick. The process is quicker. You're not having to go through finding out your Hotmail account and then type in what your information too. So it's best to go through everything and have the installation offline instead of going online for when you first install anything, which actually is pretty smart.
Oh, look at that! No problemo. Oh, limited experience. You know what? I'll sign in. I'll sign in. I'm going to sign in with an account. Let's customize your experience. Oh, gaming. Creativity, family. You know what? I do everything. Oh, hey, there it is. Okay. Oh my God, is this the start menu? It's like a Mac. Why did that getting started thing go away? And why is search a separate button now? The Windows button already was search. So wait, does this not have search? Hello? It does.
Yeah. So I want to just go and point out right there on his video. So I want to go and turn back to me. I actually like the I like the whole system, the leaked Windows 11. Now the architecture doesn't look too bad. It just looks like he said. It's just so a little bit close as the Mac OS environment, and it is really really strange how it looks. In fact, let me just fade back over my screen. If you look over right there, what I'm seeing, my gosh, it is so different. You got the center, then the Windows icon right there instead of the Windows icon further down on the left, further down on the left of the screen, as you normally see on every single Microsoft Windows product, which is that's the norm basically. It's just so centered out. It's really weird, and I'm not. This is one thing I will say is that if I ever upgrade to 11, that's something I would really have to get my head wrapped around of how new this is going to be as well. So it's going to be very new. It's going to be fresh in my mind, having to get used to a brand new environment right off the bat. So anyways, let's continue on and continue this demonstration.
It totally does, but there's a delay while it switches over to this search thing. Wow, that is really sluggish. Ooh. Okay, part of the problem though is that we're running,
and also it is really sluggish because it is going through a VMware for several reasons of that. So he can't really go and use this on a VMware too. Now I don't know if it's just his machine. I'd probably just say it's probably his machine. That's because it's just slow because of that too. Either way too. I think it does affect on VMwares like his that he's trying to demonstrate on. But again, I don't know. I haven't tried too many VMwares for that long, so I can't really say off of my experience. Only except for that one experience that I've had a long time ago when I was trying out a different OS. So anyways, let us continue. Anyways, I gotta check on someone. BRB.
Running anything that would be GPU accelerated just in software right now. So we shouldn't judge that. Also, it's an early build, etc. Are they trying to kill right click? Look at this, Brandon. Right clicking on these ones works just fine. So that could be just early weirdness. But that slide up when you left or right click also kind of makes sense when you consider that this is supposed to be a complete rethinking of the idea of Windows, and the design is supposed to be intuitive to use with keyboard, mouse, touch, stylus, or whatever the case may be. Mm-hmm. File Explorer doesn't seem to have changed much. Hello? There it is. Looks pretty similar.
Okay, now I wanted to pause for a moment there. That now here's one thing I'll say I love about Windows 10, the demonstration that he was showing on this video, especially the icons really looks that's really unique. I love the icon, look of the icon. I think it's much better than 10's icons, especially you see picture, documents, downloads, and then desktop. Although it's a different look to 10 on coming from 10 to 11, which is nice. It's much cleaner. Though I'd love to see how that's going to be once I first test it out, and I'd love to test out once we hear an official statement from Microsoft. So continue on forward.
These icons though are so different. Apparently the Microsoft Store got a total overhaul, but I'm probably not going to spend a ton of time on that because realistically neither you nor I is ever going to open it again. Oh hey, you can save 60% on PC games. Okay, there's a few more cool things that we can talk about though. Okay, check this out. Widgets are now apparently a much more central part of the experience, so boom, up comes your widgets, and we can scroll down. Can we move the whole thing around? Oh, okay, that's the behavior I would want. Now is where we're going to find out if we can actually just install stuff. So from Windows 7 to 8 to 8.1 to 10, part of the idea behind them has been that while compatibility definitely does need to be worked on by the developer, theoretically, you can just install anything that's compatible with one of them on the others. So we're going to find out if developers need to explicitly create Windows 11 versions of their applications. Real quick styles here. You having fun yet?
So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and switch back on to me right here. Now, again, I've loved to hear more on this on the Windows conference that's going to be coming up on the 11th, right? What was it on the 11th? Oh, excuse me. Oh, the Windows conference on the 24th of this month, from what I've understand. Let me take a look. So yeah, so this was announced on Windows Twitter feed, which it says June 24th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Microsoft event to see what's next. So that's, I mean, again, this is all new. Again, am I going to say this is a brand new system right from the start? No, not really. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a very big, major OS overhaul. This is the thing. It is not major big overhaul. I'm sure the UI is going to be very, very different. Overall, this is one thing I'd say about Microsoft is, for one, 80%. A lot of the times you're going to see a lot of people using Microsoft which is pretty much what a lot of people use. I mean, a lot of people use this for video games and for work, and on IT. A lot of people use this a lot. That's the one thing I say about with Microsoft is pretty much it's widely used. Now, on the privacy side, and one thing I think a lot of people complained with 10 previously on 10 was the fact that when people downloaded 10 at the time when it was released, which I remember the release, I didn't buy into the free download because there was a lot of speculations on privacy issues, and a lot of people said, well, is this going to be a system that this is going to compromise privacy? And there was a lot of people that said yes, it was, and what do you know? And you know that it's gonna and tells a lot of your browsing history, what you've been doing inside the OS, and plus this is one thing I say about Microsoft is, for one, there's going to be a lot of leaks, especially, which that's one thing I don't ever trust with Microsoft. But again, it is used with so many people out there too, that, again, am I supposed to put my hands and trust on Microsoft to keep my privacy safe? Hell to the no. I do not 100%. And for me, I'd say I would just definitely wait on it and see where this goes. And I would love to talk more about the Windows 11 when the event comes around June 24th, which is just around the corner. So as of right now, what's today's date? Today's date is now the 17th. So in the next few days, it'll be right now for a week from now, the Microsoft Windows event that's going to be taking place, which is next week by now. So we'll just have to see. And let me just read one of the comments here. Calling it a new system is overblowing it. It is right now, because to me, I don't believe this is an entirely new system on its own. Again, for me, this is where how I see this is that all they're trying to do is just add it just pretty much add a different flavor to Microsoft. To me, I like there are some goods with Microsoft, which I know a lot of people buy Microsoft Office and Microsoft products all the time too, but I just don't think it is going to be a completely fresh OS by all means. I don't think it's going to be brand new from the very start. Not at all too. And like I've said, it's we're just gonna have to wait this out and see where this goes on June 24th by next week from now. Which here in The Verge, which it says over here, it says Microsoft looks ready to launch Windows 11. And that's the thing. That's one thing I'd say with Microsoft is how we're supposed to know if they're going to be ready. And because I don't know if in this launch, oh, bear with me, everyone, I got to deal with something here. Give me a second. But yeah, so like I was saying right there too, well, that's one thing when it comes to Microsoft. They've always had an issue with Windows. Always had issues. And now they have a pretty much a terrible reputation of getting a brand new operating system. When it comes to it too, that you see the past records with Windows Me. I've used it when I was younger. Of course, it was slow. It was terrible. And then what fixed everything was XP. And then from XP, you've had Vista, which was not a terrible operating system, but still very slow. But a lot of the improvements, I think by far, I'd say the favorite OS I've used from Microsoft was 7, which 7, it felt that it was pretty much well worked on it. I did try it out when it first came out up on the beta. And to me, that was one thing I will say about with Microsoft. What they've done right was that they fixed so much of the issues from Vista, and that was one for me. I think I was much more excited leaving Windows Vista and coming over to Windows 7 at the time when it was when Windows 7 was pretty much released at the time. So I liked Windows 7. It was my favorite operating system. Though I wish that Microsoft should have extended their end of life service, and because I was actually one of the last few people still using Windows 7 at the time, and for me, reading the headline coming from The Verge, Microsoft looks ready to launch Windows 11. I highly doubt that's going to be true. and for me, that's why I'm saying there is no way that they're going to end up being ready. And if they are, I mean, good on them for being ready. Because let's just hope that we're not going to see any driver crashes throughout the first day. Because I think everybody remembers how it was when the first few weeks when Windows 10 came out. A lot of people were having issues with USB drivers, installing old drivers from older peripherals. I think a lot of people have had that issue, and let's just hope that this is not a terrible release what we've experienced with Windows 10, which is something I don't want to see coming out from this operating system. Again, do I want to end up becoming a guinea pig when it first comes out and just try it when it's out on beta? I don't know. I don't know if I am going to try it or not, but who knows? I'm sure there's people with spare computers that can try out the beta and see where this goes. So that's one thing too. So I'm going to read on The Verge here, which in The Verge it says Microsoft has been teasing a next generation of Windows for months now. But new hints suggest the company isn't just preparing an update to its existing Windows 10 software, but a new numbered version of the operating system, Windows 11. The software giant announced a new Microsoft event for June 24th yesterday, promising to show what's next for Windows. The event invite include an image of what looks like a new Windows logo with lights shining through the window in only 2 vertical bars, creating an outline that looks very much like the number 11. Microsoft follow up on with an animated version of this image, making it clear the company intentionally ignored the horizontal bars. So yeah, so it's I could tell this is going to be a very different operating system. I will be following up on Microsoft's event when it comes out around at the time by next week. Something I will be talking about more on by next week's show. But again, who knows? We'll see where this goes from here too. But however, coming out from Linus Tech Tips, he actually installed this raw throughout another system with I think it was a Ryzen GPU, with a Ryzen system with a high performing GPU, which he tested out on his other machine there too, which I thought was cool. It was a cool try out too. In fact, he didn't actually use a virtual machine on the other machine, from what I can tell on his setup. So, in fact, let me just show you just a little piece of the video. In fact, let's hold up. There we go.
To make the one we were running before look like a toy. But this is it, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got a copy of Unraid running on this USB drive over here. We're going to pass through our keyboard and mouse to our virtual machine. Massive shout out, by the way, to NVIDIA's 20 series for having a built-in
Okay, so
USB
let's skip that.
to our Windows 11 VM and hopefully run games at near native speed. And guys, the craziest part of this is just the bog standardist OS installation process on Unraid. If you can install Windows 10 on Unraid, you can install Windows 11 on Unraid. And wait, how do I even access device manager? Okay, I gotta go over here. Device manager. My muscle memory is very strong. RTX 2080 Ti, the driver's just installed. You activated Windows? Yeah. Oh wait, I want to see the on-screen keyboard then. The other one. Touch keyboard button. Here we go. Show the touch keyboard button. Okay. I want to see this thing because apparently it's been changed. And this tech tip.
Okay, so let's fast forward on this here.
Okay.
Okay, let's try out on the
game
test benchmark, which I wanted to go through on the video.
This
for
feels
Red Dead
pretty
Redemption.
darn good.
You set up higher pressure?
No, I haven't. This is still 60 hertz. But like in terms of responsiveness, it's good. So display settings. Can we just is everything just gonna work? 120 hertz and gorgeous.
Okay, let's go ahead and skip this here. There we go. So this is where he tries out Red Dead Redemption on it too, which he says that it's pretty smooth on Windows 11. So we're gonna see about that too.
Yeah, I was expecting there to be some kind of fighting with it, to get this running, but other than that, it just won't install on bare metal. It goes. I mean, look at this, Red Dead Redemption 2, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta catch up to Dutch here. Get my lantern here. Okay, old paint, let's go. It's crazy too that just the latest NVIDIA drivers just installed, and just like VirtIO and all that kind of crap, just wow.
So I mean, from looking at his bench test right here, it's just like he says, it's just running smoothly. I mean, hey, if it's gonna run pretty smoothly for someone like you and I that's going to be trying out Windows 11. Though, for me, I would, if you're going to get Windows 11, I would say skip the alpha version and probably just test out on beta, or probably on the day of the stable version when it first comes out. So I'm just saying though. Yeah. So anyways, let's
continue. One of the things that might tell us though is that maybe this update under the hood is not that big, and maybe Windows 11 isn't because they couldn't turn Windows 10 into this experience, but rather that it was more of a business decision.
Now, to be fair, at the start, a lot of the things that worked on Windows 7 worked on Windows 10.
Yeah, that's fair. So I don't think there's much else for us to really say about it at this point, other than very weird, but very cool. To be clear, I am not saying that you guys should install this on your own hardware, on your own network, because you don't know where this ISO came from and what's packaged into it. But I'm really glad I tried it, and I hope you guys enjoyed coming along for the ride. Just like you enjoy coming along for our sponsor.
Okay. Yeah, he always tries to push the sponsors. Oh boy. So let's pretty much we've got an idea what we're going to see with this operating system. Though I don't know if this is going to be the final product of Windows 11. Though it is going to be very exciting. The last time, like the last release was Windows 10, which right now I'm currently using Windows 10 on my latest machine here. Works perfectly, and I love it too, though. First time I tried Windows 10 was probably from a laptop. It was very unstable the very, very first time too. Though I could see that I'm very doubtful that it will be very unstable when it comes down to it. The very first day, it will eventually will happen. It's just like any other operating system, and yet it's going to have more issues, and then Microsoft will have to release more patches to keep it stable. But we will see down the line where Microsoft will go with Windows 10 down the road right there too. I would love to see that too. Now, however, if this is the point that they are going to let anyone like me down on this too, if this is going to be the line that where if they cannot release a stable operating system too, or a stable machine that's going to give so many people issues, then I don't know what. I really don't. So who knows? I'll probably end up switching to Linux Debian or Mint. Hey, there's another option right there too. There's always another option. Microsoft, why? Oh, why? But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and put a stop to this. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, wow. So I have been talking quite a bit right here too. So I am gonna go ahead and put this episode on a close and keep it that way too. So with that said, I hope everyone enjoyed this quick talk from me too, because all I just have to say was that it is pretty exciting. By next week's podcast, I will definitely talk about it too, though I don't know if they're going to let everybody in on the event, or if this is just for exclusivity, or quote unquote for people that are working and with Microsoft that are able to see this though. But I'm sure it'll probably be open for everybody to view this, so I will just have to wait and find out from here too. So anyways, everyone, thanks for checking it on the Leon LeGray podcast, episode 159, episode 159 here on this Windows 11 edition. So anyways, but with that further said, I'm gonna put this on a close. I hope you like this this talk and what I have had to say right there too, because I know there's going to be a lot more information down on the road with Windows 11, and see where this information goes from here too, because I like to find out if we're going to end up seeing a formal release dates at some point right there too. So anyways, I'm pretty much everywhere on the podcast space. You can pretty much subscribe to me here on Twitch, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play. Actually, there's no Google Play, but Google Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast. Please be sure to look for me over on the Leon the Great Podcast. In fact, I'll put it down right here on the chat so you guys can look for me everywhere where you listen to me on. So just search for me. I'm pretty much on every podcast directory known to man. So with that said, thanks so much everyone for taking a watch and taking a listen. I will be back next week. So long and goodbye.